Connecting to MongoDB. In this video, we'll modify our app to make a database connection to MongoDB. We'll be using an object data model or ODM program called Mongoose. Now, using Mongoose, we'll be able to create schemas, models that will work flawlessly with MongoDB in an asynchronous environment. We'll also install a utility script called node-mon for monitoring changes in our code, so we won't have to keep restarting our server each time. Installing these drivers are quite simple, just one line of code in the command and terminal. Install Mongoose and MongoDB. Once we make the installation, we can go into the code and require the Mongoose and then make the connection as you see here. So let's go and make this database connection. So here in the IDE, I'm going to go into the terminal and navigate to the back end and install the drivers, npm install. We're going to install Mongoose and MongoDB all at once. These are pretty small files, so it should take very quickly. Here we go. And I'm going to do another installation. We're going to install the node-mon. And this one I'm going to install globally, so I put a flag, a -G here, so that I can use it everywhere else in the program. Okay, so while that's running, let's go to the back end, and we're going to just apply our connection to the APIs only. Okay, so back here we have a models already. I'm going to add another, maybe two more folders in here. One, I'll call it DB just for our database connection. Another one for the schemas. Okay, so for now, let's go and create our database only. So create a file, I'll call it db.js as well. And here I'm going to just import the Mongoose. And the required will be, Mongoose is the one that we need. Then I also need the URL, so I'll put it here, connection URI to MongoDB. It's a string that goes to MongoDB : // You can use localhost, but I'm going to use the IP address instead. And port number 27017. And I'm going to put a database here, and I'll call it provider_db. Okay, if you put that here, then once you make the connection, then it's going to create that database for you automatically if it's not already created. If it's created already, it will use that database. So we can do that on the fly. So now I can go and make the connection here. I'll put a note here. This is done asynchronously. In fact, all of these connections and function call will be done asynchronously using Mongoose. So here, I'm just going to call it mongoose.connect, and it takes the URI. And of course, other options as well, but for now, it's good to go. And I'm going to check when it's done. You can use a then function, or you can use an anonymous function here, like this. It's up to you. Either way is fine. I'm going to use the then function instead. Once you made the connection successfully, then return a promise. Inside the then, we're going to have a result coming back, which is the connection string. I'm connecting information from the database. And I'm just going to put here a simple message to the console, so we know that it's successfully. Okay. And then we can also, log the result, see what that is. And if there's any error, then we're going to catch it right here. Okay. And for this example here, I'm going to just, export this out to the app as we can see it. Now, normally, if you have just one connection, then this is all you need to do. If you have several connections, then you can also assign this into another variable, like C1 or something, and then you have another connection that connects to a different URI. You make another connection, so C2 and so forth, right? So for us, it's just one, so we'll just use that direct connection. And I'm going to export this out to the app so we can see that. export that out. Okay, so let's save this and go to the app.js, and I'm just going to put anyone here, like maybe right above the app here, just for testing purposes. Okay, so put here to do, so I don't remember to remove this later. And I just say, remove later. Okay, I might forget. So I'm going to just include that DB from the require the API and then DB and then /DB. Okay, so let's save this and go to the terminal, clear the console here, and run our app. So normally we did what npm start, and here we go. We have something back in return, right? It's a string of information here. This is the result of this result. The success statement here should be somewhere in here, maybe in the top. So here we go, successful connection. And then the second part is from here. So the Mongoose connection here has all this information here. If you scroll down, you see that the name of the database is called provider, this host, this port, and then we don't have user password in this case. Okay, so we have two deprecation warning messages here. We want to suppress these messages. So you kind of just follow instructions here. It asks you to put this option in the connection string, basically. So I can copy this and add it to the connection right here. Okay, after URI, you can put it here as an object. I mean, just paste that in here. And the other one is this one here. So we'll just copy that as well and add that as a second property. And those should suppress those errors. This is only for this single connection. Okay, if you make a new connection, then you have to do that every time. If you want to, fix it, then just put up here somewhere like mongoose.set and you pass those data in there. But for now, it's just good enough. So let's save that. And again, notice that I have to, let me turn this off. I don't need this anymore. And notice I have to, when I make changes, it won't reload, right? I have to cancel out and then I'll do another run. And that's what we're going to use a node mon for monitor. So if I run that, you see that the errors are gone, or the warnings are gone, and then the connection is successful. And it's still running. So if I make any changes in here at all, say if I put another exclamation mark, since I changed my source, I save it, you see that it reloads and then it regenerates the code again. So I don't have to go back and turn off again. So that is good, and we have shown that we have a successful connection and we are good to go here. So in the next video, we will create schemas and models for our application.